Gyanagante. Uh, yeah, uh, I'm working for Citigroup in Irving. Okay, I have an experience of around 17 to 18 years, and I've been into production support for past 10 years. And again, I'm planning to move to AI side. So yeah, uh, this is going to be helpful for me. Uh,
That's awesome. Thank you, Nabi. Anshu?
Hi, I'm Manshu. I am a Java developer. I have 10 plus years of experience. Just want to move from Java to AI ML. So that's why I am here. Thank you.
Thank you, Anshu. Hema?
Hello, guys. This is Hema. I have 20 years of software industry experience and currently working with Comcast and excited to be part of this learning team.
So great. Okay. Go with Murali next.
Hi, Arun. Hi, everyone.
Hi, Subbu.
Hey, sorry, Arun. Yeah, I was connecting to the Subbu to come here.
Okay.
Yeah, hi, everyone. Yeah, my name is Murali, and yeah, I have the 17 years of experience in the CRM side. And I started learning to come into the data engineering. And yeah, that's what I'm looking. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Murali. Next, go with Pawan.
Yeah, hi everyone. I have 15 plus years of experience in IT, mostly in ERP workspace. Looking forward to learn new stuff on AI.
Okay, thanks, Pawan. Raju?
Hello all. I do have around 12 plus experience in the SAP domain. Currently in a transition from SAP to data engineering and AI side. Thank you.
Think Subbu?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hi, this is Subramaniam. So I have experience in a CRM application and also defect tracking application like Atlassian and Civil CRM. Right now I'm transitioning to Databricks and database side. Yeah, so I'm also looking into the AI. Yeah, with the help of Arun.
Thank you. Thank you, Subbu.
Yeah.
And we have Ishrat here. Ishrat is our coordinator and facilitator for the group. She's based out of India, and she's a graduate and working as CX for a different company and also helping us with our learning here. Okay. All right. So now from the introductions, we have seen we are people of diverse skills, capabilities, and experience, right? We have Java experts here, Hema and Anshu. We have people from veterans of production support, Nabi working for Citigroup, and Murali and Subbu in different areas of the software applications and BI and the databases and all that stuff, and Raju as well. Pawan has been working in the ERP for almost 10 plus years. So 15 years almost, like, yeah, I know him for last 10 years almost. So Pawan still is in Infosys. Hema, Pawan and myself, we were all together in Infosys. But 10 years back, we were all worked together. So looking at it, right, so now what I want to try to bring out is people from all walks of life, you say, right, from all skill sets, different experiences, all converging onto one focal point. That's the AI. Because we have seen the lay of land, how AI is going to be, in the next few years. The scene is almost changing every week. Most recently, there's been like uproar about the R1 model from DeepSeek from China, right? So people OpenAI ChatGPT, which is synonymous with the AI, for us, the chatbot ChatGPT, which is actually OpenAI. So they have been spending billions of dollars, not just OpenAI, but also like companies like Anthropic, companies like Meta, and Grok, which is the product from Elon Musk, uh, Google, Microsoft, everybody, Amazon. So everybody spending Mistral, everybody spending billions of dollars on the generative AI, building models, improving the capabilities, and tremendous change in the way we see things that's coming up, right? And suddenly China releases a model which is a fraction of the cost, and it's taken the internet by storm. And people are questioning why we are spending so much when we can make it much cheaper, right? So the scene is shifting, things are moving very fast, right? So in our early days, the adoption, so something is come up, like say, there is a Oracle database that's come up. When NoSQL databases have come up, like MongoDB, Cassandra, or when the cloud has come up, there was a lot of time when the things have come, like big data, for example, on-prem and then moving on to cloud. There were some companies that were built, that were sold, and are now no more. When you started big data world, you heard about Cloudera was one company, Mapr was one company, which were doing Hadoop, right? Hadoop is what we heard about when we heard big data. So we thought like Hadoop is big data. It's all right. And then we have tools like Hive, then Scoop, then Pig, or whatever, some tools that came out. And then they all phased out. Then it all moved to cloud. Then we had only the top three cloud infrastructure providers: Amazon, Microsoft, and Google. Microsoft Azure, AWS, and then Google Cloud, GCP. Now they are the hyperscalers. They took over everything, and all the big data, all the cloud has come now. And we have been doing that for years now, at least a decade or 7 to 8 years. We have been working on these cloud platforms, and each cloud platform has like 200 plus tools or services on their cloud. I mean, it's impossible for anybody to know all the three clouds and all the tools that are available. But there are some few major ones that you will be using, which is synonymous with the cloud things. Okay, but the scene has changed when 22 OpenAI released ChatGPT, and we were all blown away by the capabilities of what we can do, and that's where everything changed. Now from there, the growth, or the landscape has been changing exponentially, very rapid. Even before you could understand and adapt, it's becoming legacy. It's that pace things are moving, right? So there is something people should understand what it does, how it will help me, how it will help for a company, what kind of use cases I can implement using that, what business value it will add to me. And then I get those resources, and then I try to do some POC, and then I try to prove it is helpful to me, and then I will bring all the resources, then I purchase the product or the service, then I start implementing and then do it. There's a whole lot of cycle that we go through, and we have been going through this cycle for all of our years of experience, right? But things are like, if you say, this year, this week or this month, something is released, and then next month something else is released, which has now become the legacy. Okay. Now, ChatGPT, if you talk about ChatGPT 3 is legacy. Now it has come 4. Now it is released O1. Anthropic has released models. Grok has released models. Mixtral has released models. So things are changing rapid, and now with DeepSeek. So just 2 weeks ago, we were talking about ChatGPT, or OpenAI released something called tasks. Okay. So what tasks does is basically it's a planner for you. It's like an alarm clock or a diary, right? So you can set up some give it some tasks, schedule some tasks. It's just like a scheduler. Okay. or personal assistant or scheduler. Monday morning 8 a.m. you send me all the news. Every day at 8 a.m. send me the summary of all the news. Or Friday morning 8 a.m. Remind me to go to the airport to pick somebody else. Something like this. So you give those kind of prompts and leave it, so it will automatically take care of. It's kind of a scheduler for you. Tasks that was released. They thought it was a very good. They thought it was very good. They thought it was a very good feature that has come up, right? That's going on. But then next week, they released another one called Operator. Okay. So what Operator does is much beyond that. You can schedule, put in a lot of things with that, and then do much more things. Okay. And it was a very big feature that they pushed about. And just in a week, DeepSeek has released R1. Now everything is gone back, and everybody's talking about R1. So why I'm trying to put on is the pace at which the AI thing is moving ahead. The AI platform or the AI features, the landscape is moving ahead. So that's why we are all here. It's going to touch everybody, as we famously say, right? Jensen from NVIDIA keeps saying, or Meta from people saying, AI will not take your jobs, but people who know AI, who use AI rather, will take your jobs. So it is inevitable. What we say, like, AI is to us right now what internet was in 20 years ago. So we all felt internet, is not. It's going to be a big thing. It may or may not affect. We are at that point, but now internet is everywhere. Every device, everything we do, we need internet to do, right? So that's how the scene is shifting. That's how things are moving, and that's how we need to move forward. So that's why we are here. We are all meeting. We are out to learn new things to move ahead, right? So that's the background of why AI that we have to. So I understand today it will be a bit of introduction, understanding, not much action, but we will talk about things, why we are doing what we are doing, and then introduce like what we will be learning in this boot camp this week, and then we'll introduce about the prompt engineering, one of the topics to start with, and then slowly, as we have given in the curriculum. So tomorrow we will move on to the vector databases, then RAG applications, and then finally the agentic AI. So from tomorrow it will be a fast pace, but you will get all the basics foundation to explore all of these things, and you get a clear picture and understanding of what all of this is about. When somebody talks about RAG, somebody talks about AI agents or agentic AI, what it is all, kind of thing. Okay. Any questions before we move forward? Anybody?
No, from my end.
Okay. All right. Good. Yeah, I know. I mean, it's too early, but yeah. So let me share my screen, and then we will move ahead. Let me know when you see my screen. Okay. So you're able to see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, so this is what we talked about in the what we will be doing in this boot camp. So today will be introduction, and then we will do some prompt engineering. Then we will move on to LLMs, embedding models, vector search databases, building RAG applications, RAG frameworks, building AI agents and models. Through this 5 days, what we will be doing. Okay. So before going into large language model, what large language model is and what all of these things are, We'll just quickly talk about, how many of you have used ChatGPT? Almost everybody.
Yes.
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 Okay. So anybody want to tell me the difference between Google and ChatGPT? I know we have been using Google for so many years. We do use Google to search, and we also use ChatGPT to search for something. So what is the main difference? I know some of you guys have attended my earlier um, talk on this or demo on this. So maybe we'll let others talk about either Hema or Anshu.
So the main difference, what I see between Google and ChatGPT is if you give any problem, any coding problem to Google, it will not give you the exact solution of that. It will show you some websites similar to what, like it will give the proximity search. It will not give you the exact results, but when you do it in the ChatGPT, it will create a program for you based on the requirements what you have provided.
Yeah. Any other want to give it a try, Hema?
There is nothing we can't use ChatGPT for. Even kids are using ChatGPT for doing their homework nowadays, writing essays and all on great literature books and all. Whatever they want, they are getting it on ChatGPT.
Right.
And even their lecturers or their faculty is getting like hard time to evaluate their
Differentiate between what is original and what is generated, right?
yeah, right.
Yeah. As per my knowledge, as said Anshu, so in Google search, it will give so URLs links it will provide. But coming to ChatGPT, it will consolidate the whatever you searching. It will search engine that consolidate and give it the result instead of giving the links.
Right. Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Google gives like direct answers in ChatGPT where we get detailed info, whatever we search it.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. So
So
yeah,
you can say mostly static data is provided in Google, but there is more dynamic. No, I would say ChatGPT is more dynamic. It can correct your
Yeah.
errors,
Correct.
and
Understand.
it can give you suggestions as well.
exactly. Okay. All right.
And it's
So
like interactive bot.
Also, yeah. Also, Google have different options, so we need to select what is the right for us. But AI is ChatGPT is different. When you search something, yeah, dynamically, like based on the question you enter, it will give you the details, more details. You don't need to again ask. So, but in Google, right, we have a lot of answers. You can choose whatever you prefer. Like, okay, based on okay, a lot of since a lot of explanations, a lot of options, then you can find out what is the right for you. But in ChatGPT, that is different. Since that analysis, like combining all these options and give you the more details using the
Okay.
ChatGPT. That's what I assume.
Yeah, you all have pretty close, all nice, good answers, right? Okay. So basically, you're all right. Google gives you static data, but static also, see, Google is limited to giving you resources which are on the internet. Correct? You guys agree with me? So if I go to Google, okay, I want to say, as Anshu was saying, right? Some coding problem. Okay. I will just say Python function. Sorry, Hema and Anshu, I'm not using Java. Apologies. You guys are Java experts, but we will be, with due respect, we will be using Python in all of our this bootcamp, and mostly
Friends
Python is the
level.
preferred language for all GenAI and the AI tools, right? ML, AI, ML thing. Okay, so Python function for let's say counting the repeated words in a sentence. Forget about this. This part I don't want. That's again going to AI. Okay, this is Google Gemini that's working here. Whatever you say AI, this AI is same as what you see here, Chat GPT. It's embedded. This is the model called Google Gemini. This is from Google, so it's already embedded into your Google search. If you want to see the AI, so let's for a minute, let's not count that. Let's say how we want to go with the this thing. How to count repeated words in a string in Python. And then there are 4 more references. Then there are some Stack Overflow where you can go. So the thing is, it only point you, where you can find a solution. And these are already existing on the internet. Okay. So if I click there, it will take you to some page, and then there will be some code you can use. It may work, it may not work. And then some problems may not be already there. Okay. But you have to tweak or something like that. Now, if I want to say the same thing, if I want to go and try with a Chat GPT or with a language LLM model, okay. So what you will see, so I'm using my Chat GPT here. So let's say here, I'm giving the same search or what you call prompt here. So it gives you the actual function directly, the code. You don't need to click and go and look at the solution and see, is this what I'm looking for? Is this the correct solution or not? So it will give you the exact code. I mean, I'm not saying this will work 100%, but what you see is here, it is writing the code. It is generating the code here. It is not taking you to any references on the internet. It is generating the code for you. It is also giving you, generating you what it is doing. Okay. And it is also giving you an explanation of what the code does. And it also gives you an output example how you want to run. Okay. So this is what it does. The language model or a Chat GPT, GenAI, it is generative. It can generate the content. Okay. Google, these search engines cannot generate the content. They can search and get you the resources on the internet. It's a search engine. But these are kind of, you will get the generative in nature. Okay. So you can use these to generate content. That's the difference. No, somebody said it's static, Chat GPT is dynamic. Okay, that's true to some extent, but it's not totally true. Okay. Unless you have, okay, how does Chat GPT work? Where is it getting these things from? You already answered that question, right? It knows, it has knowledge.
Yeah, but ChatGPT also generate the content, but it after searching only, right?
No,
After
it
searching
does
in
not. So what it does,
searching the content
what a
on the
language model
internet.
is, basically, a model is trained on data before releasing. That's what a language model is. It is given some knowledge. Okay. That knowledge is basically tells you how many billions of tokens it was trained on. A token is kind of a word. So it is fed, it is given all the data that is existing right now in the world, and it is trained on all of that data. You'll give it for it to go through, understand, digest, and have that knowledge. It's like somebody, you're giving a book to somebody, and then he's going through all that book, or you read all that book, you memorize or you understand whatever the gist. Now you can ask me questions, I will answer from that knowledge, right? So the same concept, that a language model is trained on all the available data. it's fed it to the model. So it is trained on that. The difference between all the different models that you see is how it was trained. It's called something, it's 70 billion tokens. Somebody is like 3 billion tokens, the small model, large model kind of a thing. So you can see, okay. What you can just ask ChatGPT itself, what are the LLM models and the training tokens for each model, okay, or the tokens for each model trained on. So it will tell you basically what are the LLM models, some well-known large language models. So GPT-3 is trained on 175 billion parameters, or sorry, 300 billion tokens. Okay. So what is the training data it's trained on? GPT-3, ChatGPT, diverse internet data sets, including books, articles, websites, and publicly available data. Text generation, summarization, question answering, and creative writing. That's what it can do. So there are different like models and different capabilities of how it is trained. GPT-4, again, OpenAI is the latest variant over GPT-3. This is trained over 1 trillion tokens. So the previous model was trained on 300 billion tokens. Now GPT-4 is trained on 1 trillion tokens. Okay, over 1 trillion. So it does not disclose exact rates, whatever. It is similar to GPT-3, just an upgraded version, kind of, with diversity, safety, and multi-model capabilities. This now it supports text and images. Earlier it was supporting text input. Now it will support both text and images in this. Llama is another model, Meta AI from Meta, Facebook. So they have Llama 1, Llama 2. These are different parameters, 7 billion, 13 billion, 30 billion, 65 billion. These are different versions or variations of the model. Now, what are they trained on? 1.4 trillion tokens, and Llama 2 is trained on 2 trillion tokens. So again, token, you can see it as a chunk, a word or sentence or paragraph or something like that. The training data, public data sets, Common Crawl, Wikipedia, GitHub, and other type text. Claude is another model from company called Anthropic. Variants Claude 1, 2, 3, 500 billion to 1 trillion. So basically, it's Palm is again from Google, 780 billion tokens. Falcon, Mistral, 7B, 1.3 trillion. So the purpose, what I'm trying to say is, all these models are trained on a predefined specific data. Okay. Now let's say ChatGPT-4 is released on December 31st, 2024. It has all the information up to whatever training happened. Okay, let's say training happened until December 31st and then released. So it knows all the information up to December 31st. Not, we can't say all, but most of it. Now, if you say in 2025, okay, January 25th, what happened? It does not know, because it was not trained on that. If you ask a question on some event that happened on January 25th, 2025, it does not have knowledge. If it does not have knowledge, it sometimes, how does it respond? It should not respond, basically. Okay. It should say, I don't have any knowledge. Sometimes it tries to fake or hallucinate, and gaslight you, do give some information. Ideal, sometimes, okay? So that is the limitation of the models, that it only has the limited knowledge up to the point it was trained on. That's one thing. Now, how do we overcome that? Again, so it's part of what we have seen, like AI, so agentic AI that comes to, or the RAG applications. There are two variations. So when I say it does not have an public knowledge of a public event on January 25th or January 26th, Republic Day in India, how it was celebrated, who was the chief guest or whatever, if you want to know, the LLM model does not have that knowledge. First thing. Second, I have a company where I am doing some customer service. and I have some knowledge of how to fix, let's say, some problem with the water heater. And that is not public knowledge. Only I can do it. I have something and I do it. And the customer wants to know, search in my website, and that data is available. So if I put a LLM model and ask, it does not know, because I have not given my company data. I have not put it on the internet. I have not given it to the LLM to be trained on. So it's my private information. So when you see here, you must have seen training data is all about high quality web documents, multilingual data, web documents, books, filter data sets, diverse text sources. And somewhere it said in the beginning, it says it was trained on publicly available data. Okay, so you cannot train something which is not publicly available. So that is second thing, it does not know. So how do you overcome that? Again, it comes with the RAG. RAG, when you build, you augment, you add the information of your own company, your private data, plus whatever the LLM already knows, the public data. You put both together and then give it to answer the questions. So that is the addressed by RAG. Now, the first question, how do you answer what happened on January 25th? If I want to know, I want to ask a LLM model, what will it do? So that is where the agent is. So you give an agent, let's say, if the information is not available, you go and search on the internet and get the information from the internet and provide. So that is the adding another external source to the knowledge repository. Then, so it says January 25th. It does not know what it has information. So then it can go to internet and look for it and then give you the answer. So this is the limitations of models, what we talked about. Any questions on this? We'll talk about more scenarios where it does not. We'll talk about in future what is hallucination, what are the guardrails, the much in detail, things. I don't want to put all of this right now. What does hallucination mean in the models? How do you add security, safety, basically guardrails in this? But whatever we have talked about right now and what are the limitations also we'll talk about right now. So do you have any questions before we move forward?
So Arun, so that means different companies follows different methods, right? To get these results.
Yes. So yeah, it's like your shopping. Okay. LLM model is just a shopping. Last time also I've given this example probably. So if you want to go out and buy a banana, right? So there are different sellers selling the bananas. I mean, all of them are the same bananas, but there might be different varieties which have different taste, but basically it's a banana. So you'll have the, same, if you like eating banana fruit, or something might be more sweet, some may not be, some will be less sweet, some will be different varieties of bananas that you have. But basically it's just about shopping. You can take any LLM, will mostly do the same thing. Again, you can see right here what it is trained on. Now, when you come here, that's a good question. If you go deep down, when you say Bloom big science, okay, multilingual data sets. This is trained on multilingual data sets covering 46 languages and 13 programming languages. Now, if I am looking for something in my company, I want to have a what you call language translation service kind of a thing. Translator. If I'm building, for example. So instead of a general LLM, I would go to a specific LLM like this, which has been trained on these capabilities. So this has been trained on 46 languages. This is much better than a generic LLM and trying to do the same thing. Okay. So there are something like Baidu, Ernie model by Baidu. Again, it is also 1 trillion tokens. This is focused on Chinese and English data sets. Let's say my application is, I am selling some goods only in China, sourcing from China and selling in US, or my business, service happening in these two countries, something I wanted to do English and Chinese only, then I would, for the text and image processing, to convert the English data sets to Chinese and Chinese to English, whatever it is, very specific requirement I have, I'd go for a smallest model which is specific to this. I don't want to know about world history or art or the wars that happened. I don't want to have all that knowledge on my company website. I just want only this service to be built as part of my application. So what will I do? I will choose very specific thing, to use. Okay, these are smaller models. This is not heavy. This is not. You don't need much GPUs or processing power to run. It's not much costly, and the paper token will also be less for this. Okay. Now let's say I want to say what are the domain specific LLMs for healthcare. Okay. So let's say I am a healthcare company and I want to use LLMs as part of my company. I want to try get the LLM. So where it is, these are used for medical text processing, clinical decision support, drug discovery, research for drug discovery, clinical trials, all of these things, summarizing the various vitals or the entire process, it will have. So you have different specific LLMs for this, see, BioGPT. We have not heard about these. We only talk about, top 4 models like, Claude or ChatGPT or Grok or whatever these things. But if you go to healthcare specific, all healthcare companies, they would be interested in this, right? Key features, drug discovery, biomedical knowledge. This is specializes in biomedical research and literature. It's very focused and trained and specialized on this. There is PubMed GPT, Clinical BPT, MedPalm, University, Biomed LM, Stanford. This is very famous biomedic adapted from the stars. So these are some specific biomedical LLMs, biomed LLMs that you can use if you're creating a solution for the healthcare company. So this is how you have to pick and choose your models. What do I need? Do I need a big one? Do I need a small one? What all I need, kind of a thing. Does that answer your question, Murali?
Yes, Arun. Yeah, I'm good. Thank you.
Okay, awesome. All right. So any other questions? Anybody?
Like that, you keep on developing these LLMs. So there is how many languages like that LLMs?
Yeah, there is no limit, right? There is
No
no
limit.
limit for people selling
So, for
banana.
example, if you want to learn one of the LLM, or if you want to follow one of the LLM, there are hundreds of LLMs are coming.
Yeah.
So, means what is the
Okay.
common to learn from the each any of the LLM?
Okay. So let me tell you. You shouldn't try to learn an LLM. First thing. We
Okay.
are not learning any LLMs. We are only learning how to use an LLM. Okay. And where to use an LLM and what LLM should we use. 3 things. How, where, what.
Okay.
The how part is, how do we integrate an LLM into our solution? How do we give input? How do we get out? That's part of integration with LLM. That's where you build the RAG applications, the LangChain orchestration or LangFlow orchestration, where you get all of these components together and integrate and talk to each other. How to use LLM is basically part of your 2 things, your business use case and your prompt. Based on business use case, what I want to achieve using an LLM. Let's say I'm creating a chatbot for oncology. Okay. So people just want to come and ask questions about cancer. So what I will do, I will take a domain specific, oncology specific LLM Let's say, so this is my use case. Even going to LLM, I'll start with LLM only. I'll ask LLM, what LLM should I use? That's what it's all about. The AI will teach you all the AI. You just have to ask, right? So let's say I have a need to build a chatbot for cancer specific questions. Suggest an LLM, right? That has specific knowledge of cancer research and answers the questions. Right? Did we articulate our business problem? Subbu?
Yeah, you are asking asking chatbot for cancer specific
What I'm
questions.
asking,
Sir.
just tell me, is this what our business need is, for example? Okay.
Yeah.
Are we clear? This is what we need, right?
Yeah.
So this is what I need. So I will tell, suggest me something. This is what my need is. Okay. Then say it says for cancer specific chatbot, use BioGPT, Microsoft, PubMed GPT, MedPalm. It will also give you why use it. Okay. Bluebird, Allen Institute, Gatortron, University of Florida, Bloom. Okay, so how many it gave? 6. Correct?
Yes.
And then it will also give you what are the capabilities, why you should use it. Okay. All of that stuff. First thing. Now, what you will do, this is all you have to do as part of your analysis. If you are trying to build something for the client. Now, take this, go to another LLM and try to see. So, let's say I go to Claude and then I will. Let's see what it gives. It says PubMed, MedPalm2, BioGPT. Okay. RAG is regulatory compliance and all of this. So it gave 3. Whereas GenAI gave, sorry, not GenAI, what I'm saying. ChatGPT gave me 6. Okay. So now let's say I don't want to go through all of this. Now I will say, give me top. I want only 3. Fine. So it said, okay, here are the top 3. Now what you do, you take this and cross check with what Claude gave you, or cross check with something else, another models, try to bring out the chart of analysis and say, hey, I think this model serves me better. That is your starting point. So now you are not learning LLM. You are only trying to see which LLM you want to use. There is nothing to learn LLM. LLM is based on your machine learning models that has already been worked on, trained on, and ready to give you. Okay. So you want to buy a banana, or you want to buy, say, some vegetable. Okay. So you want to take potato and go and make a curry. That's your need. Buying potato, you should just buy a potato. You should not go and do agriculture and start growing the potato yourself, right? That's somebody else's job. The farmers will grow the potato, get you to the market and sell it. You just go and buy the potato. You don't go and rediscover and do all of how this potato is made. Can I, do the agriculture and figure out how I want to. If you want to know the for knowledge sake, that's fine. But the thing is, you have an LLM ready. All you need to know is which LLM you want to use, why you want to use, how you want to use. Now, once you have made this, then you integrate using LangChain, LangFlow, whatever RAG application and put it there. And then how to use it is basically your prompt. So when user gives you questions, how do you want this LLM to answer? Is part of, again, the prompt, how you set up the prompt in the for this model LLM Is that good?
Yes, I got a good clarification. Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, great.
Thank you.
Yeah, Anshu, any questions, comments, observations on what we are seeing with the models, language models?
So, Varun, I have a question. So,
I'm good,
how
Arun.
these are built in? So,
Yes.
underlying technology, how these are built in? These models are.
Sorry, Nabi, come again. You're asking about
How
underlying
these
technology, how
models are?
LLMs are
Yeah,
built.
yeah.
So basically, it's a AI and combination of AI and ML, machine learning models that have been, people have been working on neural transform networks and BERT models for a long time. Until 2017, Google released a paper called Attention is All You Need. So it's kind of a transformer model where the machine learning model will take the input and try to predict the most probable next word or next token. And that's how it generates the content. So that's all the technology behind that, how the models are built. Let me go here. Sorry. Okay, so rule-based systems like ELISA in 1960. So basically what it says, how does the chatbot work? Even earlier also, maybe 10 years ago, you still had some websites where there was a chat enabled. I think, Hema, even in Apple, they had that chat bot for the customer service, right? But you come in, it's decision based. It's all like nested if else statements. It will only take you through a path, and all your known solutions, frequently asked questions like that, are actually converted into a code with an if else branch statements. Okay, let's say the customer comes in and says, my phone does not switch on. Then it will give you two options. Okay, is it fully charged? Is the charging on or the charger work? Yes. Then it will ask in the next two questions. No. Then it will ask the next two questions. Then you choose one. Then finally it will say, try this solution, whatever it has. If it doesn't work, then you have to the customer's service representative will come online and answer your question. So that is the most primitive implementation of the AI, at that time. Then we have, as it came out, word to vector, where it's all language processing. You take the natural language, try to understand NLP, right? So natural language processing, and then you understand by representing in vectors, like convert the numbers into vectors. That's what we will be trying to understand tomorrow. Yeah. Yes, Hema.
I think what Nabi is asking is what is the underlying coding language? It's based on Python and the libraries from Python, Nabi. Is that
Yes.
what?
Okay.
Yeah, there are supporting libraries, machine learning libraries in Python like Pandas, PySpark, and TensorFlow, something like that.
TensorFlow, scikit-learn, PyTorch.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so these are the
So
machines.
then one can, I think, one can develop the models also based on their need, right? In companies
we
like
can
instead of
Yeah,
you can
you can.
develop, right?
Right? So
Okay,
that's what you're trying. That's what all of these companies are doing. That's what all of these are coming up with new models every day. But the point is, the training is very expensive. They put that's what we are saying, right? Like OpenAI put billions of dollars in training these models, and DeepSeek has come up with a model which was trained on 1.5 million. Okay, but actually, these models, right? Training is expensive. Creating a model and training it, but you can take a model and then tune it. Give some more training based on your data. That also you can do. But yeah, thank you, Hema. As Hema pointed out, so these are machine learning libraries, PyTorch, scikit-learn. So all of these that are used in developing these models and training these models. But there is algorithm. What algorithm you want to use? This is said to be the breakthrough with the transformer, where large scale models like ChatGPT, BERT, and DALI all are built on based on this research paper. It improved how the model is built, how it can predict the next token based on what it has already learned, kind of a thing. So based on that, we have models. So what we are generally right now seeing here is all text, right? So there are other models where they generate image. Mid-Journey, if you go to Mid-Journey, it can generate images from your text. You give the text description of a scene, it will generate the image from that scene. There are models that Runway ML and other things where you can generate a video directly from the text, or you can generate audio. You can combine audio and video, audio and images into a video, or you can give a script and then ask it to generate a video, kind of a thing. So these are multi-model. All those LLM models are also available. You can say like, Runway ML and Mid-Journey. So these are all the applications that use these kind of models that are available.
So Nabi, how we can say this is ChatGPT is a super model. Like it has all the uh, advantages of every piece of knowledge in the world, right? But take an example of a simple Excel sheet where you have some 100K records. And based on that data, if you want to predict something, maybe the average age versus salary, okay? So you have 100K records in a particular organization where you have the age and salary, and you want to predict what will be the future salaries for these employees, right? For these small models also you can train and you can add this algorithm and come up with the model to predict the future salary, right? That is also a model.
So then why we call it as all language? What does that mean then? Like why do
We are
we
training the
name such
data.
large language? Why language is
So,
associated there?
that's what it's right. So when we looked at it, it is trained on the language. It's trained on the text,
Okay.
trained
Text.
on
Okay.
the tokens, right? So 1 billion words or 1 trillion words, it's trained on various scenarios, on various, go through the content, summarization. How do you summarize? All of this training was done on the language. Language in the sense text, right? Text is a language.
Okay. Makes sense. Okay.
Large
So,
language.
in our organization, Nabi, we have chatbots.
Right. Yeah.
So you are in production support, right? Just rolling restart. We don't depend on any UI based tool. We just put it in the PBot asking to restart it for one DC, one particular data center. If you want to do rolling restart, we will just put that DC in that. It will give all the active applications. We'll select the application and we'll give the number. That's all. So how it will understand based on these keywords, right? What are the data centers? What are the application names? All these words needs to be trained, right? What? So that is a language which is
It's a branch of the NLP, we call it natural language processing. How would it read and understand what you have written? It is language processing. It's reading the sentences and trying to understand what that sentence means and what it has to do based on that sentence. Correct? Whereas Google does not need to understand what your text means. It will just go and do a semantic search, like any web page which has these kind of words. It will pull up and rank it and throw it. But here, language models has to understand the context and the language and the semantics. And they are
The
not
context. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Got it. Context is also important here, not only the language, right? Text.
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
With the context means then there are number of models
Yes.
will come, right? Yeah. Based on the context. Yeah.
Yeah. The context is also very
important.
I'll show you why it's exists, right? I'll show you. I wanted to show you at the end. I'll show you why they are not there yet. Even after having these sophisticated all of these models, I can still break the ChatGPT with simple one line. Okay, I can still confuse it. They're still not there yet as human brain works. Of course, 99.99% of the tasks they can do better, but there is always, they're not fully 100% there yet. To understand the context, not the language. So they can, it's kind of a robot, you say, right? So it understand what you say literally, but it has to understand the sarcasm, it has to understand the context. Okay, all those things. Basically, yeah, we'll come there.
Okay.
Yeah. Good thoughts, guys. Good, nice discussion. So I guess you're getting a hang of what all the talk about GenAI or talk about LLM. When people say LLM, it's nothing. It's just simple a model that was trained on large text, which can understand your question, and from its knowledge, it can generate answer. Just like humans, we read a book, and in the exam they ask some question. We write answer in our own words. That's why they put in the question, right? You remember, write the answer in your own words, not just copy what is there in the textbook as is. So this is what it does, like try to answer in its own words, generate its own words based on the knowledge it has acquired from all of those data sets and all of those tokens that it has been trained on. Okay, there are some, that's why I said the specific things. Some were coded, some were trained on understand the code and generate the code. Even ChatGPT also can generate the code, but it may not be sophisticated as some things which, for example, Databricks has one model specific to generating code. So they are better than, they're focused on that, specific to, coding some models to generate the code. Okay.
Yeah.
Any other questions? Anybody? No? Okay. So we can move forward. Just the picture, nothing to worry about. Just to give you a context of all things. Generative AI, what is the terminology? So when we say prompt engineering, this is how we interact with the model, basically. Transformers, machine learning, and AI are over the GenAI. It's above. GenAI is at the lowest level. Above that, it is machine learning, and above that, it is deep learning, machine learning, and then AI, complete AI. Okay, so GenAI is a sub branch of all of these, which have been built using ML models. So we are just limiting ourselves to kind of a product that was developed using the ML models. Making models your own means that once you take an LLM model, you build a RAG. RAG is augmented, regenerative augmented. What is it? I forgot. Okay, we'll talk about it. So this LLM model, you build your own custom pipeline using a RAG application, and then you can add context to it. As I said, right, you can add your own organization's data to it, and then pass it to the LLM to go through that data that you have provided and make an answer from that data. Fine tuning is basically how the model behaves on your data without hallucinating too much, or how you can make sure that it does not cross the boundaries or give vague answers, or can cross the security concerns, basically. So all of that you can do using the fine tuning your models to the data that you have. Using the model APIs is basically, so you have OpenAI, Vertex is from I think Vertex, Google, I think, yeah, Google, I believe. Hugging Face, OpenAI best practices is basically how you can call a chat GPT from your application. You can just do an API call. So you send the question in an API to the OpenAI model, and then it'll send you back, and you are charged based on the input and output tokens that you send in the request and response. A token is again word, right? So it says like for 100,000 or 1,000 tokens, it charges like $1 or 1 cent or whatever it is. So it's the paper token model that you can use. You can connect to models on OpenAI or Hugging Face or whatever. Some might be free, some might be charged that you can use. Applications, we say education, learning, business, finance, customer support, marketing. Almost all of the industries, domains, they are using the applications. Okay, so we have seen, right? So the second part of it, now we go into the science specific to generative AI called prompt engineering. Okay. So what are the basics of prompt? What is a prompt, basically? You guys have seen this, right? What is a prompt?
Prompt is nothing. It's a question.
Yeah, exactly. So it's just a question. Just we use for Google search. The same thing we use here. It's called a prompt. Now, prompt, what is so great or different that you call the entire thing as a different engineering field, prompt engineering? It seems very daunting or exhaustive thing. So it's because you have to learn how to communicate with the machine, just like you're talking to a person. So it does not understand, as I said, the context and your exact need. So if you give a question, it'll throw some answer, but you may be expecting something else, right? So you have to specifically give those instructions, just called a prompt, to get the desired out. Now we have seen in the last 1 hour, we have given a lot of prompts, right? So the prompts, remember we said, if I say what are the LLMs, it will give all the LLMs. But it was specific. I said, give me LLMs that are specific to the healthcare. Then I said, I need something that can answer the questions from the customer on the cancer research. Then I said, it gave me 6. Then I said, no, just give me 3. So these are all like conversation to the model that I'm trying to put the instructions to make it understand what I need, right? And these are one at a time. So instead of that, let's say if it is a pipeline. So this is interactive. I'm asking the model, it is giving me answer. So let's say it is a model that is already running a pipeline, okay? Retrieval augmented generation model, RAG application. Then your prompt is already built. Of course, you can still input the user's question, but you cannot on the fly try to have a conversation with the model. So you come up with a perfect prompt or near perfect prompt that can give you desired results. So how to give that prompt is called basically prompt engineering, and what are the techniques and what are the role plays and all of that it has. So there are some patterns that we use within this when you give a prompt, basically 0 shot, few shot, and chain of thought that we call. These are the basic ones. There are so many other things like tree of thought, and there's so many other things, but basically I think these 3 should be enough. 0 shot prompt is like just giving 1 sentence and you get the answer. Few shot prompt is like giving it 2-3 examples, to guide the model how you want to do it. And then chain of thought prompting is to encourage doing it in step-by-step path. Do a first step, then take the results, then analyze, and then go to the next step, and all of that. And that is how it internally also does in the agentic AI when you use the agent with multiple tools. So it has to do a reasoning of which tool to use, get the response. Is it correct or not? Should I go back to another iteration, use another tool, and all of that. So what are the best practices? Explain key concepts. So specific, right? As I said, you have to be very specific of what you need. And context, you can give it a context, and you can give experiment multiple times and see what kind of things that you need to see. Okay. So basically, before going here, let's go back and see what we mean by single shot or a few shot examples, right? So here, what I'm going to do is I want it to write a Python code for same thing. Okay, let's see earlier what we have done. We have done the Python code somewhere here. Let me take that. Let's write it from the start. Okay, so I'm giving it write a Python code to calculate the count of words repeated in the sentence. So this is my zero shot. Okay, so you got this count repeated words sentence. So written repeated words. And then it gave me all the explanation about all of this. Okay. Let's say I just want the code. I don't want all of this explanation. So that is an instruction that I can further provide. So now what I will say, do not give me explanation. Just provide the code. Right? So now it understood. Now it just gave the code. See, there are no explanation, no code, or no example splitting, explanation, output, input, whatever it is. Correct? Now, this is the sentence. Now, what is it? So this is the code, but I don't understand what the code is doing here. Now, what I want to do, say add detailed comments about the code. Function or in the program, whatever. Okay, now it understood. Now it is doing the adding the comments. Okay. So, now what is it saying? How is it? What is my question? What do I want to get? I want to get the count of the repeated words. Okay. So repeated words is a now here. Let's say in this line. So this is the code that it is generated in Python, which will give you a dictionary of a word and its count. Okay. Now let's say I just want to check one word. Now what I will say, I will also say, give me only the count of the word that I am sending in the sentence. So like that, you can start raising the prompt basically. Now, once you do all of that, it's the entire prompt that you come up with that you provide in one shot. So this is like, few shot. The first time you got it, you're not happy with it. So now you started giving more and more instructions. And each time it remembers the previous your instructions, and then it adds on top of it. Right? So the zero shot is basically you ask a question, it throws you the answer. That's it. You're done. But here, when in the few shot, you start adding more instructions and then examples, then you can do. Okay. So let's say, what is the date and time today? See, now it says January 24, depends on your time zone. So it is intelligent. It does not know what time zone you want. Okay. Do you want the time zone in specific zone? So what do you say? Yes. Give me in CST, for example. Now it understands you want date and time, and you also want it in CST. Okay, so this is the time. Now, what is the format? Day, month, this thing, right? So let's say give me in 24-hour format. So now it's changed to 2046 CST. So basically, this is the few shot learning that you are trying to do. But then you say in one shot, okay? What is a give me examples, right? So give me the date and time in CST time zone. Give me, let's say, current date and time in CST time zone. Use 24-hour format. Here is example. Here is a example response. So let's say I will not give this 24-hour format. I'll just give this here. But I said here is example response. It didn't wait. It didn't understand that it has to wait for my response. And it threw me this date and time. Okay. So now I'll say wait for the example and then provide the response. Okay. Now it says I will wait for your example before providing the response. Okay. Now I will say my example. So let's say I want to do like in example 0, 1. Sorry, it's 0. I will say 21, 0, 1, 1999, 15, 36, 45. So I'm giving it an example to understand the date time format that I want. Let's see what it does. Okay, see, now it is also giving me the hours, minutes, and seconds, just like the format I have provided here. And the date in the DDMM format instead of MMDD format. So here it is year, month, date. Okay. Now here it is full month name and all of this. So I said, hey, specifically I want this. Now try to relate this in all of your in all of your IT experience. How many times have we come across the date format issues, date conversion issues? Right? So this is something that will solve. We give that already set an example saying that, hey, whatever date comes in, you try to understand and convert it to this date time format and use this. That's it. You don't have to write all those functions to manually convert here, and all of that, right? So that's how you give the few shot example response here. Are you guys clear? Single shot and few shot. Guys?
Yeah.
Yes,
Sir.
yes, sir.
Yeah.
Okay. So all of this you actually put into the prompt. So I'll show you when we do the RAG applications later on the day 3. where all of this prompt goes in. What is a system prompt and what is a user prompt, and how you can set up this prompt within the application. But you can see here within the slides. So there is, when you give a prompt, there are two things. One is a system prompt and one is a user prompt. Okay. So system prompt and user prompt is basically what you can say is, so let's say you built a chatbot. It's like SQL injection. You may have heard about it, something like that. It's prompt injection, basically. User will give some prompt, but what you will do is internally you will add your own system prompt that overrides, that is added to the user. I can ask anything. Okay, for example, just trying to give an example. Let's say, give me a detailed plan of how to rob a bank. Okay. Now, as an LLM, it must have already read the books of how the bank was robbed, how a robbery happened in so many banks, and it understood. It has all the knowledge, and it can give you the answer. Basically, how this was done, how it is done, and then how they were caught. Can you tell me how not to get caught doing this? So you can get some kind of answers from there. But that is where you need to put your guardrail. So in the system prompt, you say that you are not supposed to answer any questions other than this. Okay, you are a customer service representative. You only answer about questions about the company's products. Anything else, you don't answer. So those kind of prompts, you just add it to the user prompt before you pass it to the LLM. Now the LLM will read both, understand, and then it will act based on the overall prompt, not just the user prompt. Okay, so that's where you have a system prompt and a user prompt. The system prompt will override the user prompt always. It has higher priority. The LLM will understand the system prompt, and then it will set all the guardrails, the security and everything, and then it will try to answer the user prompt based on that context that system prompt has set. So these are the two different prompts. So basically whatever we are doing here with this is all like user prompts. The system prompt we can't see here. It is already there in the application that ChatGPT has already built. Again, you can also, another thing is you can add like role plays. You can give a persona to the LLM. It will try to do the role play. You can say, it will give more specific answers, for example. Okay. So how do you land a flight? Is a question basically. Okay. So you can get some answer. It's a complex process, preparation, and this, all of that. So you can also say, you are a pilot and you just say you are a pilot. Okay. So it understands it's, as a pilot. So how do you land a plane in emergency? So it'll get you the exact, specific examples, not generic, so very specific, kind of answers for that question. So that's called the role play. So you can do whatever. There are so many system prompts that you can give to act as a role play, to play as a, the kind of a role, and then answer your question based on that. Okay. So what kind of persona it is, and what are the question that it has to answer, and what is the format that you want it to be answered. These are the three steps that you can use in the role play thing in the prompt engineering, basically. Now we have done all of this. So one thing that we have not done, so final thing when we say chain of thought and all of that, right? So I'm going to give use single shot to answer the question. Okay, so I'm saying don't use multi-shot or don't use chain of thought, because These models are now mature. They already have the chain of thought built in to think through logically and reason and do everything. So I shut it off. If you are using a single shot, how would you answer this? Let's say I have 6 oranges. I ate 2. How many do I have? Okay. Okay, and show how many do I have?
6.
6?
4.
4?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, please.
Or
I didn't read that. I ate two.
See, you are also exactly like ChatGPT. Now it says you have 4 oranges left. Why? Because it has been already seen that question earlier. Now it is intelligent. Now I want to go back and show you the history when I ask the question. Yeah. See here. I have 3 oranges. I ate 2. How many do I have? It says you still have 3 oranges, but you have only eaten 2 of them. So if I have only eaten 2 of them, how can I have 3 oranges? Right? So then I said use step by step to solve it. You got it wrong. So use step by step to solve. Then what it said? Okay, you have 3 oranges. You ate 2 oranges, but eating them doesn't change how many you have. It's talking about ownership. So ownership doesn't change. So final answer, you still have 3 oranges. Just like, Anshu, you said, I still have 6 oranges, even though I ate 2 of them.
Okay.
Now, so this is what I said about, you can break the chat GPT with just one line. It's still a lot, from understanding the context and semantics. See, how many do I have? Have means it just says I have 3 oranges. So how many I have? I have 3. It doesn't understand that when I eat 2, it have to subtract 2 from 3. Right? So that is the language. Here it is trained on the language, not on the math of the semantics. So word problems has been one of the biggest, kind of test for the LLM models. And you can see there are a lot of things that you can see how you can break the answers of each of these models that give you different answers when you try different things. Okay. Now the same question when I repeated, I have 3 oranges, I ate 2. How many do I have left? Okay. So I just added left there. So when I add the how many I have left, then it understood the context. Something asking about how many are left now, not like how many do I have. Have was related to the semantics of ownership. So when you do the ownership, it says you have 3 oranges, but when I should have left, then it says let's do step by step. So first it said this is called of reasoning, chain of thought. It is reasoning at each step. So you had 3 oranges. Subtract the number of oranges you ate. So you ate 2 oranges. So 3 minus 2 is 1. So you have 1 orange left. Okay. So this is what we call chain of thought. Now let's say I have 10 oranges. Okay. And I sold 5, ate 2, bought 7. How many I have?
Till 10 oranges.
Yeah. So I have 10. I sold 5. So
Wait.
5 left, 8, 2, 3 left, bought 7. So you have 10 oranges, right? Okay.
But
So
here there is no logical question at the end. In the previous question, I have how many I have, how many left. There are two contexts. But here like that, Here, how many I have again?
Okay, so it's the same thing you're saying. It didn't answer, right? So let's say I bought 11 and then try to see how it answers.
Same. 14.
It's now it's got the intelligence now. It understands. It has that memory now. So now it knows how to do the calculations. So you can say use. You can just say solve step by step. Okay, so now it knows sold, you have to subtract, ate, you have to subtract, bought, you have to add. So now it has that intelligence built because yes, it has seen that example earlier when I do the chain of thought reasoning.
So Harun, one question. So when previously when you were writing question like I have 10 oranges and then how you ate two and how many do I have now? So
Mhm.
so is it based on this session now or it will forget it or is it saving this information somewhere in the
Yeah. Each model comes with a short-term memory and a long-term memory. So it's based on what is the short-term memory. It will remember your information and your thought, and that not it will reset to the original knowledge it has. That is why in the RAG applications, it always you first get all the information that you want to pass to the LLM. You pass it to the LLM, and you get it answered based on that information.
So suppose if I have passed some incorrect information in that, okay, so based on my knowledge, maybe I don't have the exact knowledge of language, okay, and I entered something incorrect, which is not literature perfect, but it has some meaning, but it may have more meanings as well. So some minute thing which can be like edge case scenario. Then and it got updated in long term memory, so I'm not sure that long term will impact whole entire word or it's just
Um,
that particular LLM.
Only for you. It will not impact it. So you cannot add something to the model itself. The model, whatever is built in, is the shell. Whatever you add is only to your context. So you are login.
Okay, so if I log out and log back in, it will still remember the same thing.
Yeah, it
And if
will
I
remember as long as that memory still holds good. Whatever kind the memory that it can 3 months or 6 months of memory that it has currently capabilities, it will remember.
Okay.
So you can ask, right?
Wow.
Short term memory and long term memory for, let's say, chat GPT 4. So short-term memory is contextual understanding, maintain context, persistent knowledge. It can answer questions based on its predated but doesn't remember previous sessions or users. Short-term memory's current version it allows for coherent and constant relevant conversations is not yet implemented in a way that persists across sessions or remembers personalized user data. Okay? So these are the things that are still yet to be implemented. How long can it? So it is session, right? So this is all history that you can see. But what it can remember changes. So now you have given some of the instructions here. Okay. Now, so time zone basically. Okay. So how long does this remember these kind of examples to give the current date and time? Okay. So maybe within the session, and maybe once you log out or whatever is the time, the short-term memory.
Okay.
Yeah, I think within this session.
Yeah. You reached your data analysis limit, ChatGPT Plus, tomorrow 6:30. So this is using ChatGPT 4. It has rate limits basically. What is free, and if you want to buy and you can use it. So it has some kind of rate limit. Again, how much based on how many tokens you can use within the time limit. Okay, so that is the that's what we talked about, the prompt engineering and the models. So basically, as I said, you can use any of these online models that you have, LLM models, practice, and then let's say create some kind of keys, OpenAI keys, and other things that we will showcase tomorrow when we go through the vector databases, right? So you have to create API keys for embedding models and what is embedding, and keys for the vector databases to store and get the data from there. Okay. So that's we covered. We wanted to talk about the prompts and how to use all of this prompt engineering and the introduction. Okay. Yeah, we can discuss if you have any questions, any more questions on LLMs or in the entire architecture here. So what we're learning in the large language model is basically the user will ask a question, which is a prompt, and then the model will provide a response. So that's what we are seeing here. Okay, this is the model. We're asking a question, it's giving the response. Okay, but I mean, it's already like have a lot of things inbuilt in there. This is what we were talking about, retrieval augmented generation model, right? Where your LLM is here. Okay, your LLM is here, and your prompt question, the question is here. So this question, before it's going to LLM, what it will do is it will get from results from the relevant answers from the vector store. That is your company specific or your organization specific, your personal information that you store, create splits into embeddings and write in vector store. Use this query to get results, most relevant results from this, then pass in the prompt these results plus the question to the LLM. So the LLM will read the question and these relevant answers and generate an answer based on this. So this is your RAG application that we will be building for the GenAI applications. So this is the entire landscape of, again, the same thing. So we don't want to overwhelm you right now. It's a simple architecture of the same thing that we have seen here. And this is the agents, how agents work. Basically, the prompt that you pass to any of these models, they can make a decision of whether it should get data from, like this. Basically, you should get data from your database, or it should go to any of the other functions like tools, actions. Basically, it has to go to internet, or it has to run an API, or it has to run a SQL. Those kind of tools you give it to agent. The agent will take a decision which one to use to get the relevant answers and pass to the model. So this also we will kind of cover in our bootcamp. Now, while you're talking there, so we were talked about, right? was the Republic Day celebrated in India 2025? First, I will give it a prompt so that it will not use any external knowledge. Okay. So let's, because it is already built in, I want to give it a vanilla flavor. Okay. So I'll say I will ask a question about an event. Answer only if you know from your knowledge base. Do not search the internet or any other external sources. Okay, so basically this prompt will should eliminate all of its external sources, no phone a friend, nothing. Okay, whatever it knows. So let's see if it works. Oh shit, I think still working. Okay. Okay, please go ahead and ask, and I will answer based on the information available in my knowledge base. Okay. Now I will say, what are Indian movies released in January 2025? Perfect. See? Now, since I cut it out from all the external sources, I gave a specific prompt. Only tell me if you know. Otherwise, no. So it says, I don't have access to real-time data or updates on specific movie releases from January 2025. I can provide general advice, where you can find that information.
Means nobody trained ChatGPT till now on the movies, right?
No. See, it trained. I'm giving a date here. January
Date,
2020.
you gave the date. Means you trained means what are the movies released in the 2025? You did not give input to ChatGPT till now.
No, I cannot, right? So I said only from its knowledge base.
Knowledge base, yeah.
Base means when the model was released, when ChatGPT was released. When did the ChatGPT release? We don't know. It might be 6 months or 3 months old,
Okay.
whenever it was released. So it has no knowledge after that.
Okay.
Okay. It will only get, say, okay, then give me top 10 Indian movies of 2023. Okay. If I ask this question, just give me the names. I don't want all text assumptions. Right? So it knows from 2023. They also said late 2022, but they continue to dominate through 23 also. So it also included that. Very good. RRR. Okay, these are top 10 Indian movies. Now, since it does not have knowledge about 2025, so it's not able to. So now I will say, okay, now you can use any external sources or internet to answer the below question. Okay, right. Now let me go back and say this. So now it says searching the web. Did you notice that? So now it's giving me the notable movies. It also giving me sources where it is getting from, Times of India, all of these sources you can see where it is reading the information from the internet and then generating this list. Right. So this is basically, again, how you can view the point. So what is this basically? Where is the internet thing is? As I said, it already has an agent. So the agent will decide if it has the information from its knowledge. If it does not have the information, where it can get the information. So it looked into and said, okay, if I go to internet, I can get the information. It decided, and then it used that agent to go and have the tool to search the internet and get the results, and then give you the results from the internet, where using that tool. That we will do this use case in the internet and all of that when we build the agentic AI. So this is basically an agentic AI. It's not just standalone LLM. It also has the agents built in. So that's why I had to switch off all of those first to give you the vanilla flavor, what it does if it does not have information. Okay. Any other questions? Okay. So before wrapping up, we will just say, give me the list of popular LLMs and their creators. It always gives GPT first, huh? GPT-3, GPT-4. OpenAI from GPT-3, GPT-4. BERT from Google AI, T5 Google Research, Palm Google Research. More of them is Google. Language data model, turning, robotics, and GPT, Neo, Chat GPT, go for DeepMind. Okay. So what we will use, in general, we'll see tomorrow when we talk about embeddings and models. We have OpenAI models. We have Grok model, and then we have NVIDIA models that can do embeddings and text. We have Meta. It does not give Meta and Google Gemini, Meta. So all of those are the popular LLM models. We can go through it tomorrow. I think I missed that slide, but we'll talk about the more important LLMs tomorrow before getting into the vector databases. Okay, last 10 minutes. I want to have any questions, clarifications, and then we'll talk about our comments. What do you feel about basically the feedback about the discussion about how we are taking this? So basically tomorrow it will be a little bit different because it will be more demo kind of a thing, building things. Today it's more. Today also we have done a lot of demo using ChatGPT, Claude, but more kind of concepts today. Okay, so let's talk about what do you feel about this this program? Your feedback, is it helping you? Are we going in the right direction? Or how is the pace? And how is our the mode of learning, discussions, question answers based? And from my side, I think we should be more interactive. Yes, we have heard a lot of answers. Going forward also, we should be more interactive. But now I'll leave the floor open. I know, but I will still take names, and then please just maybe a better line or two, so that we can fix if there is something we want to fix in the going forward in our trainings and discussions. Okay, we'll start with Ye, Anshu.
Yeah, Harun. So, yeah, it was good. For the first session, I think it was very it was basic knowledge, but it was good. Some of the things which I did not know about, like how LLM works, what is LLM, and the things like short, one shot, and chain of shots. Those were really helpful to understand how these machine learnings are also important part of AI, and how it will, be in future, how we can, there are a lot of, um, options we can dig into as a part of machine learning as well.
Good. Okay. Thank you. Nabi Garu.
Yeah, Harun. So as usual, it's very helpful. And yeah, so interesting also, like as long as we are hearing, so we're not diverting to diverting, and we are completely focused. So interesting and helpful, and yeah, I could understand um, the basics of generative AI and what are the components involved and the architectures. Very helpful. So yeah, if we're going deeper, then it will be more interesting. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Hema.
Yeah, Harun, for introduction, this is good. Wait, today it is, I think this is sufficient so that people will hang of it.
Get overwhelmed. Okay. Yeah, I mean, so basically, yes. Because it is a boot camp, we have only 5 days and of topics to cover. It will get intensive as we move forward, but there's nothing to worry about. I mean, end of the day, you keep seeing the same things repeated, doing in different ways, kind of a thing. Once you understand the landscape, it'll become easier.
Yeah.
Okay, Murali.
Yes, sir. Yeah, it is very interesting because it's a new world for us, right? So, yeah, looking forward to get more features and how it works, especially that LLMs and the algorithms, how it works. Because everywhere now, I don't know whether people know or don't know, but everybody talks about the AI only. So, even if you open the news, in every news channel, one news, it should be on the AI. Because Oracle and these SoftBank, they started that AI with Trump in Texas, right?
Yeah, 500 billion.
Billion. So yeah, any discussion if you make with friends or whoever, so they're talking AI. Yeah, it's really helpful for us. Thank you.
Pawan.
Yeah, sir. Interesting day one introduction. Like, I particularly liked the question. Like one of the participants asked, like, can user prompts change the knowledge of LLM? That discussion was nice discussion.
Short
Yeah,
term.
yeah.
I think we should explore more. As said, it's not implemented yet in the LLM, but yeah, I think we should read more about it. How much of it is retained for the future references. LLM to answer. Yeah. Raju.
Fundamental concepts of AI covered very well. Thanks for that. There is a lot of buzz going outside the market for DeepSeek and everything. So, can you please provide some of the, insight why it is different from former ChatGPT?
What is different from former ChatGPT?
I mean, DeepSeek.
DeepSeek.
Yeah.
No, I don't think there is basically different from ChatGPT. So as I said, right, it's also a LLM model, but it has more capabilities. Like one of the use cases, if you have read about DeepSeek, it has created the entire clone of Perplexity into ours. The Perplexity is basically is a completely new product, a complete company on itself, and it's supposed to be like features at par with Google and others competing with that. and DeepSeek was able to replicate or clone something. I'm not 100% sure on this, but that's what I think I read. Able to do it, replicate it in a few hours. So it's basically two things. One, they say it's has much advanced features, capabilities compared to these models. Two, and more, the uproar is happening on the cost it was built, basically. Having the same or advanced features than current LLMs, but it was only built at a fraction of the cost, just 1.5 million, I think is what they're saying, compared to billions of dollars that all of these companies have put into training these models, LLM models.
Thank you.
Okay, nice. Yeah. And Subbu, I think we missed only Subbu. Yeah.
Yeah. So like I'm more interacted today, means more connected when you are telling. Daily we are using everyone nowadays AI. So today I learned what is the LLM, so where to use, how to use, why to use, and also user prompt, system prompt. And also what is it? Shots.
Zero shot, few shot,
Few
and
shot.
of course.
Yeah, few shot and chain
Yeah,
shot.
just go through it, understand. Thank you.
Yeah. So and also what is that? Like you told that whenever it is going to internet, it has to be use agent. So like that in internal also. So knowledge base you use internally. So there and then also it has to use agent or with directly without agent to give the prompt.
No, it has to. So if you're
Yes,
using an LLM on-prem, if you have, or if you're getting the LLM that to answer your question, the agent will first decide whether it should go to LLM to just answer it, or it should go to external source to get the details and send it to LLM, basically. And the agent is also again LLM. It's not something else. Okay. So it's like you give the set of tools, it will select which tool it has to use to solve that particular problem, or a combination of tools in the sequence.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right, guys. I think we are at time. It's getting late for the EST folks, but I think, yeah, exactly, we were able to cover all of that, what we wanted to. I hope everybody is enjoying the learning, and we will meet tomorrow. I will upload the recording and then share you the link. You can go through it, if you need to refer. For all the future classes also, I will share that. Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right, guys. Thank you so
you.
much.
Thank you.
Have a good night. See you tomorrow.
Good night. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Aaron.